joining me for another edition of This Old Martin. This is a 2003 Martin DM. It's solid wood, made in the USA, and it sounds great. What the deal is, it was at a rental property, and you know how college kids are, drinking, messing around, crashing the guitar over the coffee table, etc., etc. We're going to fix this up today. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But also, just in case you're wondering, it was stained a brown color. This is a Sitka spruce top, so it was originally a very light color. And that's the deal what that is. But it was also, after it got smashed and the neck came loose and stuff, they decided to screw it through the sound hole directly into the drywall with some long wood screws. And we're going to touch this up. I can feel it's very bumpy. So first thing we'll do is sand those flat. Look like pimples. What I do with these bumpy little suckers is I take a sanding pad or a sanding block and stick some 220 grit on it. And then I do my X's and crosses. So what I mean by X's and crosses is I go X's and crosses. And the whole time I'm being mindful that the back has this spherical shape to it. So I do about 20 swipes each direction. And then I go and I clean this off with an old toothbrush. And I repeat until it's nice and smooth. Next, I scrape the dark brown shit out of the hole. Already did this one. So this wood putty already had like a touch-up pen, color repair attempt. So I just want to knock it back to that original wood putty color. It's not very smooth. Have to add a little more putty to it. Actually, what I decided to do is I sanded it with 320 grit. Now, before I even wipe it up, I'm gonna drop in some Glue Boost thin. This is the fill and finish thin on a stick. And you know what? I don't like how dark that looks. I do not like that. I was thinking that it would, the dust and the Glue Boost would mix together and stay kind of light, but it didn't. So, okay, I'm gonna get the putty mixed up instead. This is really bumpy, so I'm gonna use this rolling pin sander. By the way, this is the epoxy putty I've been using, Mohawk. Anyways, I got the rolling pin sander, and I'm hoping this is the trick. I don't know, maybe it's too rough. You can definitely see that there's a low spot. There was high spots here, and there's a low spot there. So I think I could fill all this in with epoxy putty and then use the rolling pin again in a minute after the epoxy putty dries. But I'll have to get something more flexible to get down in there and scratch this up. And this is the sandpaper I usually use. It's just a roll with adhesive on backside I get all the different grits from Stu Mac, and it just sticks nicely. And I can get down in there, scratch that up nice. Alright, a little vacuum action. Reason you can't hear the vacuum that much is because I actually put it in the other room. Well, if I mentioned this before, but there's an attic over here on the other side of this wall. And so right on the other side of this wall is an attic space. So I went in there and ran some electrical and a switch over here. There's a shop vac in the attic, and the hose comes through the wall. So I can use the vacuum anytime and not have all the noise. My little trick these days with the epoxy putty is I keep Simple Green. It's like an all-purpose cleaner, and I kind of wet my fingers. I clean up all my tools. I clean them up with this Simple Green, but also it allows me to kind of press this stuff into place without it sticking to my hand. Last thing you need is your epoxy putty on your hand. Look at all this craziness. This one is an old Abilene, and it had a big neck crack right through here. You can see it. Got it all glued up and smoothed out and stuff, but it's I was kind of surprised. This one was the dirtiest guitar I've ever seen. Its binding is all falling off and stuff. I don't know if we're going to be able to fix that for him. This one had a bridge doctor in it. Such a shame too, because it's a 46 Martin 00021. I really like this guitar. It's a short scale, small body guitar. Beautiful. I wish I could find one of these now. It's the first time I've really had a Martin that I loved. This one is a Garcia from Madrid, Spain, 1967. Yeah, 1967. We're going to do a poor man's neck reset on this. I'm going to cut through that whole thing. Reset that neck. Oh man, and this one's a Fender 12-string from Korea. It's a pretty cool headstock on this one. Yeah, it kind of gives me a head start anyways. I'm going to go at it with the 80 grit again. when I start seeing the bare wood all around it, I'm pretty confident that I've got it smooth. I'm going to go to 120 grit, 220 grit, maybe some 320 grit. And I'll meet you back here in a second. This is shellac. When I finished my 320 grit, I was just going with the grain. Whoa, doesn't that look pretty? Now we got to put some grain in this. I just want to mimic what's already there. This epoxy putty, sometimes when you don't mix it up, there's like little pockets of soft. And I just want to kind of try to dig those out. This is just random. No big deal. I got another trick. This one is kind of sharpened. I don't know if we can get that to focus, but see that? I'm going to come in, scoop out those soft spots of putty, and you know, once in a while in the wood there's a larger grain anyways, so there's different size pores to fill, and I'm gonna mix up some grain filler. Same thing here, I'm gonna scratch this up. Grain filler. This one's called light rosewood. Couple little scoops. Couple drops of water. Get a sacrificial brush. Little mixy mix. It's kind of pasty. This is going to be a quick one. We're just kind of seeing what happens here.
Remember to again wipe it with shellac once more before applying the grain filler.
I may have pulled the filler out of the surrounding natural wood, so I want to make sure to get it in some of those guys too. Okay.
I'm using Zinsser spray shellac, sprayed into a small cup with color tone dyes and mix-all pigments to achieve this color.
Might be okay to sometimes take some of this powdered stuff. Oops. I don't know why it's stuck there so much. I've been doing this wipe on shellac-a-lac, you know, drop it on the pad, give her a wipe, and no matter what I try to do, just can't seem to lose the evidence, malpractice. So so that's what I'm doing. Kind of coming in here and going around these. Maybe I can darken up the area in between them. But that's about all I'm going to do. Keep keep wiping. And then probably find a way to take the gloss off of this and send it out the door. I did some layers of shellac over the last couple days, and this area keeps getting darker with the surrounding. So I'm just going to give it a light scratch, put on a few more coats, and hopefully it lightens up a skosh. So I sprayed the Van Dyke here on this side crack, and it looked fairly good. I did the same thing on the back, but it was just way too dark, and it looked like, you know, it's just too big of an area to change the color. So I ended up sanding it all off the back and just doing some French polishing with a little stain, and I hit this area with the gray Scotch Brite and the white one. And I think it'll pass. Take a look at the back now. So this is about the best I could do on the back. I went over it several times and tried to, well, right here it seems glossier than the rest, so I'm going to use this gray Scotch Brite and dull it down a bit. Just dull it down. And then go over with the white. It's level. It's a little unsightly, but at least it's level. And I think I can live with it. But it's a great sounding guitar. Haven't played it in a while. Well, that's about all for this one. Side crack worked on, back holes worked on. Great little guitars. I think I'm going to put this one up on Reverb for sale for like $6.50. Usually go for about $800-900 when they're in pristine condition. This one's kind of unique that it has this brown stain on it. The rest of them are all natural spruce color. So yeah, $6.50 with maybe like $69 shipping, and I'm sure it'll sell. Someone that just has an eye for rustic looking guitars probably like the looks of it, but man, the sound of it's just amazing. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you tuning in and subscribing as always. Catch you later.